Okay. Okay. So let's just wait a few minutes and give people time to settle in, see if anyone's coming today. You are watching this. You're watching this. I want to take a moment and say hello. Hello. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking the time to watch this today. This is the third of our Emotions for Dummies series. This is the advanced Emotions for Dummies series, and this is our third video. And hello there.
Hi, Donnie. I'm Tom.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having the classes. I've seen some of the replays you've sent. I've never managed to make it at this time until today, and I saw glimpses of the videos, and it sounded really great. So I'm excited to be here.
Well, that's just great. That's just great. And I'm glad you listened to those videos. And yeah, just what a great thing that we can use this time to get in touch with our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And welcome to everyone else who's here too. And if you have anything you'd like to say, feel free.
Hi there, Dr. Donnie. Hi, Tom. And
Hi there.
anybody else who'd be joining or watching the video. Really glad to be here tonight. Really need this tonight.
Oh.
And really wanted to be in your presence, Donnie. So thank you for having me.
What a gift that was. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I've been slaving away all day on homework and everything. So, whoa, what a nice thing to hear those nice things you all said. Okay, well, so for people who are watching this, so just first things first, this is being recorded. If that does bother anybody, please let me know so we can address that first thing. Today, we are dealing with grief. Today's major topic is grief, how to grieve, what is grieving, what that should look like for you, coming up with ideas on how to make that real, a meaningful experience for you so you can heal from the deepest, hardest things you have been through in your life, okay? So I just want to say if for any reason you would like me to turn off the recording or you're concerned about your face being on the camera or anything like that, just let me know or take care of yourself, okay? Okay, so welcome. First things first, let me give everybody the workbook that we are using today. I'll go ahead and share my screen. The workbook. This is all coming from a workbook I put together called The Book of You. Which I am currently working on finding a publisher for. The Book of You is a wonderful document, a workbook. There we go. It's a workbook of social emotional exercises for you to get in touch with everything going on in your inner life. I only give the workbook out if you come to the advanced classes because, if you come to the regular classes, this might be more than you can handle, and it's my job to kind of guide people through these things. So I only give it out for the advanced classes. As you can see here, part 1 of the workbook is about discovering emotions and questioning beliefs. So we learn how to meditate, intro exercises on telling yourself the truth, putting your feelings into words, all these wonderful things that comes all the way down to the body scan meditation and that midterm called the ego killer. We do all that in the earlier classes. So if you're interested in any of that, all my classes are month to month. So right now it's the advanced class, but the beginner regular class starts next month. Okay, so you're more than welcome to sign up for those. And then this class, the advanced series, which is the month of March, is all of part 2 here, which is inner child work and relationship work. So week 1, we went through what's called inner baby work, self-soothing. Last week, we went into inner child work, which was healing toxic shame. Deep, heavy stuff there. And then today, we're going into grief and recovery, which is on page 48. Okay, so my general rule around all of these things is, this is about getting into your feelings, right? So this is totally school, and this is totally what I give my college students. This is the workbook I give all my college students. This is how I base their grades and everything. It's emotional work, and it's work. It is work, But it's really important for you to be comfortable as we do this. And so whatever you need to be comfortable, go for it. Okay, whether that means laying down, if that means snacking on something, if it means, whatever it means for you, turning the heat up, grabbing your favorite stuffed animal, which I should just say, I have a grief doll, just so you know, I bought him. He's Mr. I don't know if he has a name yet, I don't know. But he's Mr. Puppy, the grief doll. He has lots of different faces. See? And I can move him around. I can change the faces like this. See, here we go. That's a good grief face. Good grief. Surprise. Yes, so many faces. I really love it. I really love it. Oh, that's grief also. I can go with that too. Anguish. Urgh. Wonderful. Okay, so he's going to sit right here. He's going to sit right here and keep us all company to help us process our own grief. So whatever you need for your feelings, give it to yourself, okay? The important thing here is to get comfortable so you can get into these feelings. And you don't have to read along. I'm going to read all this. You're just hear the sound of my voice. So you're more than welcome to close your eyes. Get comfortable, whatever that is for you, okay? Okay, so we're going to talk about grief. And, more than likely, you may have some thoughts about grief already. You might have been through 1 or 2 things in your life that involve some grieving. And that might have went well, or it went however it went. Okay, that's how grief often is. And so we're just going to have a more systematized way of looking at this and then go into some exercises, okay? And this comes from the book, The Grief Recovery Handbook by John James and Russell Friedman. Which is a book from the 70s, actually, but was reissued in 2009. Grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a familiar pattern of behavior. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a familiar pattern of behavior. While it is the most normal and natural thing to feel grief after a loss of any kind, it is also the most neglected and misunderstood experience, often by both grievers and those around them. This is because we are taught how to acquire things, but not taught what to do when we lose them. All sorts of experiences come with conflicting feelings. Sure, death, but also divorce, moving, starting school, marriage, holidays, financial gains and losses, etc. Also, we could include the loss of an identity, loss of trust, loss of control, and loss of safety, of which you may have felt lots of those things last year or continuing into this year. Most of us are taught that grief happens in an orderly set of stages that look like this. As you can see, there's the Kubler-Ross model here, where you go through shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, testing, and acceptance. Okay, in these nice little stages. And you may have experienced these things in your own grieving process. However, research has shown that people are often not in denial or don't get angry while grieving. What they do often report is reduced concentration, a sense of numbness, disrupted sleep patterns, changed eating habits, and a roller coaster of emotional energy. This has led to the conclusion that there are no stages of grief. All relationships are unique, so every grief process is unique. Or drawn out, it really looks like this. As you can see, there are stages of grief here, and there's loss, hurt, and loss adjustment. So we're moving from the hurt to adjusting, right? Adjusting to the loss. You can go through shock, numbness, denial, emotional outbursts, searching, disorganization, guilt, loneliness, depression, re-entry troubles, new relationships, new strengths, new patterns, hope, affirmation, and helping others. And then this part here is this person's experience, which, as you can see, is absolutely all over the map in a million different ways. Or to put it in my language, a total clusterfuck of different emotions all going at each other. Okay, so if you're grieving, you might feel shock one day and then discover you managed through that shock, and you discover you can do that sort of thing. So you have a new strength. But then your new strength doesn't last very long, and then you're suddenly plunged into fear. And then the fear leaves you feeling lost. So you're constantly searching for who you are. But then maybe you talk to someone about it, and that person has even more fear about it than you do. So then you go talk to that person and you help them out. So you're able to help someone else. But then the next day you think, hey, I helped someone else, I might be good to go. So you try doing something new and it doesn't work out at all. And then you're left feeling all kinds of panic, right? And then you can't manage the panic. So then you get depressed, right? Now you don't even want to go back out anymore. So you're having re-entry troubles, right? You can't go out and you can't live your life anymore. It's all falling apart. It makes you angry. You start having emotional outbursts. Maybe you won't recognize what's really going on. So you're in denial about it, right? You go into total breakdown. Then finally, you acknowledge the thing you wouldn't acknowledge, develop a new strength again. And because you acknowledge that thing, you meet a new person. You get new relationships in your life, right? And the new relationships give you a reason to keep going. So then you have hope, right? Right? Hope and affirmation, right? So as you can see, you can really be all over the place when you are grieving from something. Like, I mean, absolutely all over the place. And it's a good way to think about, the times in life when we felt like we were going crazy, where everything just seemed so overwhelming, was probably all these different emotions going on underneath. And yeah, how hard it would be to make sense of all these things, how hard it would be. And it doesn't help that, we call ourselves going crazy either, I suppose, that's a short judgment. But underneath that one thing is all of this stuff that we're all going through. Okay. And of course, this could be just about one event that happened to you. This could just be, this could have just been June, and then something else could have happened in July, and you could have two layers of this, and it could trigger the thing that happened to you when you were 10, and then it could be even that much more crazy, Okay. So grief is about a broken heart, not a broken brain. It is about dealing with feelings, not intellectual rationalizations. So often when people are grieving, we say something like, don't feel bad, it'll be better next time. These statements are intellectually true, but emotionally bankrupt. In fact, our society teaches us 6 unhealthy things about grieving. Don't feel bad, replace the loss, grieve alone, go be by yourself with your unpleasant feelings, just give it time, be strong for others, and just keep busy. All of these ideas teach us to avoid and hide our true feelings. leaving us feeling unheard, invalidated, even judged and criticized. Consequently, many grievers opt to just be left alone, social isolation, or they learn how to fake it in recovery by pretending to be fine and put on a happy face. Additionally, the pain of unresolved grief is cumulative, so any future losses can re-trigger past hurtful experiences. A lifetime of unresolved grief can be absolutely debilitating. So recovery happens through a series of small and correct choices we make about our thoughts and feelings. It means acknowledging that everything you are feeling is important and perfectly understandable, and that this is part of what it takes to claim your life back. Often it means developing skills we should have learned in childhood. Recovery can happen at any time when the griever is ready to talk about and review what happened. It does not happen if you just give it time, and there is no loss that a person cannot recover from. Now, I know that can sound impossible depending on what you're dealing with, but I have to say, I have to believe that's true. There is no loss that a person cannot recover from. We would never tell a person who broke their leg to just give it time. The same goes for emotional pain. We must accept that while help can come from others, or we can pay someone $150 an hour, only we will know how we truly feel. So number one, start with acknowledging that all grieving is about wishing for something different, better, or more. It's fighting an acceptance of what is over what you want. You can use the How to Let Go exercise to help your ego deal with the loss. Okay, there's a How to Let Go exercise further up in the workbook, just so you know. Number two, only you are responsible for your feelings. We often say, "You made me angry." You made me angry. But in reality, things happen and we choose how we respond. Like, I reacted to what you said with anger. We may absolutely not be responsible for the past, but we must take responsibility for how we react currently if we want to take our power back and heal, which is easier said than done. Three, think about doing grieving work with someone you can trust. You can do it alone, but since social isolation is such a big issue in grieving, it can help to reach out to friends and people you trust. Also, focus on you addressing your feelings, not reaching out to those who hurt you. They may not or may never be in a place to grieve, and it's their business. If it happens, it will happen for them in their way, on their time. 4, go back to that list of 6 bad social beliefs about grief and see which ones you have believed in and questioned them. All responses to grief are normal and natural, no matter how wrong or crazy. Crazy behavior is a good time to question how someone is grieving. And you know what? Let's do that first. Let's go back to that list. I felt something when I saw that list, so let's just take a moment. Don't feel bad, replace the loss, grieve alone, just give it time, be strong for others, and just keep busy. Out of that list there, which one would you say is your main go-to for dealing with, unhealthy go-to for dealing with grief?
For me, it's don't feel bad, for sure.
And just tell me what comes up. What comes up for you?
I think I somehow just don't allow myself, like, why should I be allowed to feel bad? There's a bunch of stuff to take care of. Yeah, that's what comes up.
For me, it would be grieve alone. You know, we don't want to hear it, or just go help somebody, that kind of thing.
Just go help somebody. Hey, you know, I can hear in those answers the other parts of this, the just keep busy, the be strong for others. Yeah. Just keep busy's mine. That's my main one, is to just keep busy. I can get through it somehow, but you know, I got so much work to do. I got so much work to do. I can get through it somehow. You know what I hear in all those is the ways in which we deny ourselves basic care. Yeah. Good to know. Good information to know. Okay. Number 5. Finally, acknowledge that people all mean well when they attempt to offer help to others. All of these 6 bad social beliefs can be heard as a kind way to offer healthy sympathy for people's pain. So instead of that, you could say, so instead of don't feel bad, you could say, your pain is so strong, please also take notice of the positive things in your life. Yeah, you know, people mean well when they say that. You know, that's really what they're trying to say there. Replace the loss. Losing something hurts so much. If you get something that fills the hole, it will help with slowly working through the pain. Yeah, that's nice. That's a loving way to say that there. Grieve alone. It can hurt so much to discuss these feelings that you may want to prioritize taking time for yourself so you are not stuck in a triggering story. Yeah, nobody wants to have to tell their super messed up sad story over and over and over again when it's happening to you. No, yeah, you may want time alone. Yeah, and just give it time. The suddenness of things makes everything hard to deal with. We all need time to process our feelings. So, you know, it can be useful just to think about your main way of dealing with these things and finding a loving way to turn it around, to find a way that maybe is a little more loving for you, you know? You know, mine was just keep busy. So, you know, that's really just another way of saying feelings are hard. So anything you can do to sort of slow down the flow and manage it a little bit, like the work you think's important to you, you know, use your work to help you manage your feelings. Yeah, it's not workaholism, it's work therapy. It's just little bit at a time. Okay, that's loving. I like that. I like that. That's loving. Okay, we all got to start somewhere. Okay, so the following exercise will help you to learn your own processes of grieving. We're going to write out our life history, focus on a particular relationship, find statements we need to apologize or forgive, and then we're going to end it all with writing a grief letter. Okay, so then once you get an idea of how to do this, you'll know how to do it for every other tragedy, grief-related thing that happens to you in your life, okay? Okay, so I have a needless to say, well, let's start with number 1. Number 1 is a loss history graph. So feel free to get a notebook here. Using the line below, illustrate every loss you've ever had in your life. The example here has years and events, but you can just use your age. Like for me, I wrote age 16, came out of the closet. Start with the year of your birth, or age 0, your first earliest memory, and then everything up until today. If you don't have that kind of time, or if you've done this before, just focus on a part of your life. Take care of yourself. This can be triggering. Yes, okay, so please take good care of yourself. If we're digging into things, you know, ask yourself, what can you handle today? You don't want to go through your whole life history. You're welcome to pick just the first 20 years, the last 20 years, 10 years, last week alone, whatever you feel is comfortable for you, okay? If you've never done something like this before, you know, I just want to say, this is a feelings exercise, right? So it's about getting in touch with your feelings. It's not about trying to write out as many things as I could possibly remember or pressuring yourself. It's about just getting in touch with whatever comes up for you as you get in touch with your life story, you know? So wherever you are in that journey, this is just one day in that journey, right? We're just learning how to engage in these skills. And then, hey, you get through this one time, you can do it again. And the second time, if you want to dig deeper, feel free, right? That's the idea, is to love ourselves as we learn how to deal with our feelings. Okay. So let's take a good 15, 20 minutes here. Maybe I'll put some music on. Just write out whatever comes up for you, okay? And of course, this is your history, and only you are going to see this, and you can write it out any way that works for you. It's your language, your words, the order you pick. It's all you getting to know you here, okay? Well, if anybody has any preferences regarding the music, let me know. Okay, then I have a special genre or anything. Otherwise, I'm just gonna put meditation music on here, some background sounds. And you know, it really is your life history and your feelings. So, I mean, you're welcome to write a couple of things and pause. You know, I knew I was doing this today, and I totally checked my refrigerator to see if I had a beer or not. I didn't. I didn't. So I'm going to just be really kind to myself and breathe through this. Hey, you know, I guess I could also say this is a creative exercise. So as you do this, if you ever do it again, the second time, third time, you can play with it. Find out what elements work for you. So like getting to know your history. And I'm just going to describe what's coming up for me, as the teacher here. I'm just going to give just put some words to these feelings, but I'm feeling the sudden need to like snack. So that tells me I've got like, we have comfort food to help ourselves through feelings we stuff into our gut. So I know when I feel that sudden need to snack on something, telling me that something's coming up, that I'd rather keep stuff down there. Pull on the U here. And I really just hold on. I really can't stress enough the importance of taking the time to just be with whatever feelings come up for you in this process. All of us have hidden feelings, trapped feelings, locked up feelings, feelings we put behind walls or smash up and lock away. Those things need space, so it's okay to pause and let yourself feel whatever you feel. Okay? stop at 18 and just let myself feel through what I wrote down. And you just keep on writing. At the bottom of this page, it just says, take one or two of your experiences and write it out in detail. So when you get to the end, or whenever you like to stop, feel free to write about a couple of experiences or just sit with your feelings for a bit. Let your heart write out its own story. And you know, one thing I found in doing this exercise is, you know, those things that happen to you may be way down there. So they don't just rise up to the surface, they sort of trickle, little drops. So just give yourself whatever space and sensitivity you may need. Ooh. And you know, as you sit with this, first and foremost, let yourself feel whatever you feel, because that is absolutely the most important part of this. Whatever comes up is what you need to be feeling right now to process through what happened. And as you process this, you may want to ask yourself some questions. What are the really big things that happened? What had the biggest impact? Who were the major players? What was the impact? You know, what really hurts so much still now? You can also ask questions like, how did I survive this? What kind of strengths did I have to get through this situation? You know, some of us, you look at what you went through on a page, and some of us, it was a rough time. And some of us, it's nothing short of an outright miracle. We are alive. You know, there are many people for who that is the case. So one thing you can do is give yourself a pat on the back for surviving all this too. And this is a no judgment zone, so I mean, believe me, by now, if I had that beer, believe me, I would be sipping that beer by now. This feeling, there's like a pin I can feel in my heart, and it hurts. It's like a, how do I describe it? How would I describe this feeling? It's like a well of sadness, and when I finally finally drain the sadness, it's like I feel a rod, like a pin, like a rod of just hurt, pain. It hurts, pain. And it's like trying to touch or bend that rod just feels like touching lava. Ah! Hey, putting words to it, that helped. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so wherever you are in your process, just honor where you are. This would be the end of part one. So I just want to open the space up. Anybody has anything they want to share about this part of the journey, how you're feeling, any of it, anything that came up for you, just anything. And of course, the most important part is to stay deep in your feelings. Honor those feelings. Okay, these feelings aren't easy. They're really not easy. We're not really taught how to deal with loss. In our consumer capitalist culture, it's all about getting stuff onto the bigger and the better. You know, if you lost something, well, it must be good because then you know the next big thing's coming. Don't focus on loss. Just replace it. Right? Don't feel bad. Just replace it. So these are feelings that can be really. You may have who's you? Well, we, I, can have all sorts of walls in place. So I don't really have to feel these feelings in most of my everyday life. That doesn't mean they aren't there. That doesn't mean they don't matter. And all our feelings would have to matter in order to be whole, in order to experience wholeness. And you know a beautiful thing about that that chart up there about my experience with grief and all the squiggly lines everywhere is as absolutely chaotic as that looks. And I may not want to go through that. That is a great definition of wholeness. This picture here, this is a wonderful definition of wholeness. This is somebody feeling through all of their feelings. Right? It looks messy. It's like a forest here, you know, just wilderness. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's someone letting themselves feel all of their feelings. It may look messy, but it's complete. Yeah. Okay, brave people. Okay, let's go on to part two. Go on to part two. Part two is a relationship graph. So here we get to dig deep and get honest about a particular moment you need to grieve. First, for the experience you wrote in detail, illustrate every important moment in your relationship with that person, including any feelings after they died or the event that happened. Put positive things above the line and negative things below. Note all of your hopes, dreams, and expectations that went along with each event. Okay, so you can focus on a particular person, a particular event. You can focus on relationship with myself if you like. You could focus on a particular chunk of time, for example, my high school self if you wanted to. And then the idea is you put the positive things that happened and the negative things that happened. You're noting just everything. And not just the events that occurred, but also hopes, dreams, and expectations. Those are important parts of your inner event. Okay. Okay, so just see if anything in particular you want to specifically grieve today. Let's see what I got on this list. Oh boy, let's see. Which one of these am I ready to really let go of today? Oh, can I? Oh. What am I gonna pick? What am I gonna pick? You know, I'm gonna pick me, my relationship with me. I'm gonna look at what I just wrote, all the loss I went through, and I'm gonna focus on my relationship with myself. Yeah. Okay, so as we're going through this, and this is a feelings exercise. So whatever comes up for you, whatever you feel the need to write, that's what's really important here. Okay. The interesting thing about grief is feelings can come with positives and negative things. Starting school can be a exciting time and a scary time. It can be you can be really happy that something new is coming into your life, and also really sad that something's leaving. Even if you land the great job, even if you win the lottery, you can still feel sadness because it means your life might change. And it's important to honor all those feelings. And I'm going to congratulate myself for making it till 6 o'clock without grabbing this feet. I am feeling some, flurries of anxiety just rising up in me. Oh. My childhood was a difficult one. I had a really difficult childhood. I grew up in a very homophobic, unaccepting background. I was raised my whole life to, think gay people were going to hell. And I was raised, if I told my parents that was me, that I'd be, I assumed I'd be digging through garbage cans as a kid, and I lived in a lot of fear for a long time. And I noticed to this day, even at 39 years old, there's moments I go back through some of this, and it's like, I can feel that fear like it was happening right here all over again. Like I can smell the air in the high school just all over again. So that tells me how important it is for me to make peace with this. Oh, Jesus. My tree branch fell. Oh, that was a huge one. Oh, wow. Very loud thud there. I mean, what gets me the most when I look back on those memories was just, yeah, how unsupported I was through so much of my development. I mean, I had food. There was food and water, you know, that was there for sure. And a safe place to sleep. And I had two parents. And clothes and vacations. There were things. It just, I don't recall anybody really asking me how I felt about my life much. No one really asked me how I felt. And, you know, just kind of always living with the thought that if I say the truth of how I really feel, is I'm going to be disowned. Really makes you kind of be really afraid of yourself in a whole lot of ways. And yeah, you know, those disconnections, that's something I still struggle with now. As I look at this chart here, it makes sense. It makes sense. Mm. And what a gift I could give myself, the ability to speak it out, to feel it through. You know, I didn't feel like my family could give me what I needed. It took me till now, but can I give me what I needed? One day at a time. You know, this is a feelings exercise. So whatever you are feeling, give yourself whatever you need. You know, got my stuffed animal here to hug. An actual hugging yourself, wrapping in a blanket. Whatever you need to help yourself with your feelings. Tapping your forehead, even. Tapping your heart. Moving the energy around. Just rubbing yourself. Stretches. Anything you need to help you move those feelings through. Or you just straight up just scream as loud as you can and throw something. I mean, whatever you need. Whatever you need. I highly recommend getting in the car and just screaming at the top of your lungs. Whatever you need. So you know these feelings are important to you. They matter. They get a right to life, full expression. They get a right to educate us about ourselves and our life. Okay, take another little moment here and just pause in case anybody has anything they want to say, address, speak, anything at all. Or just some silence. Just some crying time, that's fine too. And so the next part of this is to take a look at what you wrote. Take a look at what you wrote and just sort them, either physically or mentally, into categories like things to apologize for, things that need forgiveness, and other significant emotional statements. Like the I want you to knows, you need to know this. Okay. Well, let's just take 10 minutes mentally prepare those statements. Keep working. This was oof. Oof. So keep working. up an example for us. So let's maybe 5 more minutes. 2, 3, 4, 4 more minutes there. You know, all important religions all speak about the power of forgiveness. It's a big part of religion, you know. Forgive. Forgive. You know, once you've hit forgiveness, that's how you know the stress is over, because you've forgiven. But then I suppose it'd have to be real forgiveness. Sometimes we just say those words and just kind of put buttercream on a shit cake and just try to swallow it down and call that forgiveness. And that is just never going to cut it. Real forgiveness. I get it. I get it. Okay, so why don't we go on to part 4, because that's the end. And we'll have time to work on our letter. So the final part is to write a grief recovery completion letter for each statement. This letter is a short response to what you have been feeling so that you can complete the feelings. It's not a farewell letter or even a forgiveness letter for the other person. It's more of an apology letter for you to complete the sense of closure you need so you can heal. It can be written from you to another person, or from another person to you. Writing the apology of the people who harmed you can be very liberating. Like all of this, focus on your feelings and your heart, even if things seem silly or awkward in your mind. And then the example is, dear person's name, as your, whatever that relationship is, I've been reviewing our relationship and I have discovered something I want to say. I apologize for, I forgive you for, I forgive me for, I want you to know. And then some kind of closing, I love you, I have to go. I'm ready to let go of this hurt and goodbye. Okay, so you're free to do this in your way using the statements you wrote down. And I'm rather excited to do this. But before we go there, I want to read something I wrote some time ago. Just to maybe just jog your ideas here. This was a bit advanced, okay? But I decided one day to write the apology of everybody who ever harmed me. Thought it'd be a great way to go. So let's give this a shot here. Let me just turn this down a second here. So this is your abuser's apology. Please forgive us for what we did to you. We are so sorry. We had power and we knew we could use it and get away with it. And we can see that it still hurts you now. Please forgive us for the worst that we did to you. We did it so we could think we were better than you. But now we are stuck repressing you so we can feel normal. Worse, repressing you just means we are repressing ourselves. Please forgive us for every time you said you needed help, but we ignored you, or even blamed you for the repercussions of what we did to you. Taking responsibility would mean looking at my thoughts and actions, and that simply hurt too much. Having to even notice my insecurities hurt too much. Forgive us for all our ignorances, never bothering to dig deeper, making it about you when our world can only be about ourselves. The disrespect we use to hide our own guilt and shame. The times we wanted to kill you, not acknowledging our own soul murder from long ago. Forgive us, for we may never heal. Oh, brave people heal. They open their hearts, tell the whole truth, return to their innocence. Our power ensures we will talk bravely, but never do any of those things, not for you anyway. I know that sometimes you think that things would have been fine if we never would have done what we did to you. And we are here to show you that God loves everyone, so you don't have to. Things would not have been fine. Or actually, things are just fine. You stood up for yourself. You realized you deserved better. You left. Forgive yourself for letting me occupy space in your beautiful life. May the happiness in your smile and the joy you build in your soul be all the things we may never feel. Let your healing serve as an example, the same way our abuse serves as an example for us. Okay, so you see how that letter went there, okay? That might be a little more poetic than the average letter might go. But you see, the idea there is to say the things that needed to get said. You always wanted someone to say that ideal conversation that you always wanted to have. If Paramount Studios could write the script to the apology, what would it be? Right? Get out all the feelings. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna give us a nice chunk of time to craft our letter. Let's try this one. This is a positive energy meditation. That sounds cool, huh? Boost that aura. What really came up for me reading that letter, what really came up for me reading that letter was how many times when I was living in fear, feeling unsupported, being hurt, how many times I wanted someone to tell me, yeah, you're doing all this and it's going to be worth it. It sounds weird, but it's like I wanted someone to say, yeah, you're going through this hurt because it's going to be worth it. Like in the end, it's going to add up to something. You're taking this abuse and you'll be good enough. You'll be good enough. And how twisted that kind of is, and how that logic doesn't really add up. So, whatever's coming up for you, just let it come up. But I know I definitely feel this releasing energy, this opening up. Okay. Think of all the thoughts I had here. So, just take in whatever's coming up for you. This is your grieving experience. You're learning how you grieve. Why don't we use the final 20 minutes of class? And if you're still working, feel free to keep working. I will go ahead and I will read my letter. This is an emotional. Where's my? Here we go. Hold on. Let me get my napkin and everything. This is an emotional thing here, so I'm not just gonna barrel through this. So just bear with, okay? Okay, dear Donnie, as your inner kid self, I have been looking at our relationship, our time together, and I have some things I want to say. I'm so sorry that I was so hard on you back then. I wanted approval, and I thought I had to be perfect to get it. So I was hard on you to get perfection. I want you to be happy and feel free. That's more important now. So it's okay to let go of being perfect or needing approval. You've done enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the adults in your life didn't give you the support you needed, didn't nurture your spirit the way they cared about grades. You deserve to be a kid who can feel loved for just being a kid. No pressure, no expectations, no having to achieve anything. There was a lot of having to achieve stuff. Forgive me, forgive me for being so afraid to tell my truth about my sexuality, my gender, my feelings, my difference. Forgive me for being so afraid that I got resentful, depressed, suicidal, and numb. You didn't deserve any of that. You just wanted to figure out what was going on with you and be loved and supported for the unique person that you were, that you are. I want you to know that you mean the world to me. I always want to feel safe with you, feel loved for just being with you, feel complete and secure. You and I will always work together to make a real feeling of home. We will always work together to make a real feeling of home. I am ready to let down my guard and trust. Let down my guard and trust you. Goodbye, old pain, old fear, old ways of being. Donnie. Okay. And that is my letter. And as you can see, that's where it went. That's where it went. So I just want to open the space. If anybody wants to share anything, their letter and feeling, anything at all. Anything at all.
I wrote a letter from my dad. An apology letter from my dad. I never thought of doing that.
Okay. I'm listening.
Hey Tom, I'm sorry you had to deal with me, my anger, and my drinking. I realize how much it hurt you and how it made your life harder. I can't change the past, but I want you to know that I regret it. I regret hitting mom. I regret being violent with animals in front of you. I wish I could have held you tight and told you I love you more. I'm sorry you had to be scared so often at home. I wish I could have kept things peaceful in our home. I'm sorry that I attacked you when you got in trouble, and I wish I gave you some good life advice instead. I'm sorry I insulted you so many times. I'm sorry I couldn't teach you to protect yourself in life. I wish I was equipped to help you through life better. And I wish I had met you and get to know your teachers and friends so I could know how you feel. I wish I could have taught you to handle feelings instead of teaching you how to hide them. I accept you the way you are. You don't need to achieve anything. I love you how you are. I want you to be happy and I care about you and your new family. I am not here to scare you anymore. You're safe now. I'm over this. Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. And just breathe into whatever you are feeling. Honor all those little feelings. This is the safe space to finally let it out. Mm. It's a beautiful letter. And your father may or may never ever say those words to you ever in life, ever. You never know, ever, never, never. But you get the right to have those words heard for you. So that little kid inside, yeah, can get the love and support they needed. Yeah. So you can have your own heart. You know, getting in touch with your feelings, it's not easy. It's not easy. It can really feel like whew, just totally out in left field, numbness, weirdness. You feel like walking on jagged glass sometimes too. And so one day at a time, one day at a time. Does anyone else have anything they want to share at all? And no pressure whatsoever. Whatsoever. We can have some silence, whatever you need.
I'll read the letter that I wrote.
Okay.
Okay. I wrote, Our dearest Ellen, We are so very sorry from the bottom of our hearts that we hurt our very hearts by harming you and causing you so much grief and sorrow over and over throughout your lifetime. We were selfish. Your mother and I, for some reason, yeah, your mother, this is how it came out. Your mother was wounded too.
Yeah.
And when I could take no more of her abuse, I put it on you because I was too cowardly and afraid to leave her. Your mother is mentally ill, and I have suffered all of these years too for never having left her. As you know, I now drink and I shake during the daytime. I lost myself long ago. In order to have some semblance of normalcy, I have kept you away from me, blamed you, and smear campaigned you unfairly to everyone in some way. As I have grown older, these have been my coping mechanisms. But in my heart of hearts, you have always been my hero. And you are wise enough to know that, and that's as far as I got.
Hey, you want to just finish it from the heart? You want to just finish it from the heart?
Um, but in my heart of hearts, you have always been my hero, and you were wise enough to know that in the center of every parent's heart is a seed of love for their child. Love your father.
Oh, 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 thank you. Oh, oh, thank you for reminding all of us about that seed. Oh, 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 wow. Oh, wow. Oh, and that is the power of forgiveness. Oh my God. Oh, 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 well, well. This just, this just, this just, this just opened up just a whole, just new world here of feelings, of gratitude. Oh, oh, thank you all so much for today, for sharing your heart and your life story and for being so open. Oh, thank you all so much, so much, so much, so much. Oh, mm, what a blessing. What a blessing. Oh, okay, wonderful people. So it's 7 o'clock, and I just want to just say it's the end of our class here. So if you have anything you'd like to share as our final goodbyes, I just want to just reiterate how thankful, grateful, how grateful I am to be in this space where I could open up about these painful things that happened to me, and I could share them with other people, and those people could also share with me their painful feelings. We could all cry together. I just, this healed a part of my soul today, people.
Me too. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you for putting this up.
Yes, so welcome.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate you both sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so just please practice a lot of self-care after this. Please take a lot of time out for yourself. Check in regularly on what you need for your inner life. Healing goes where it goes. So please just stay in touch with whatever you need for you, and use this as an opportunity to get in touch with your inner life on a deeper level, and practice. Practice. This is no feeling is a one and done. So everything is a revisit, a revisit, a revisit. So please practice, get in touch with the exercises in this workbook. Please come to class, and please share these exercises with others, because so many of us have a hard time with our feelings. All right. If you need me for anything, please feel free to email. I'm always around. And hopefully I see you next week. But either way, get in touch with your inner life. No one else is going to do it for you. So good luck.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks again.
Good night. Thank you all.
Thank you. Good night.
Much blessings. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, how totally effing beautiful was that? Beautiful. Okay, good luck, people out there watching this recording.